Luke Bryan's incredible country music career. Like and subscribe now, or else this spider will crawl on your face at night while you sleep. He started his career as a songwriter at the beginning and wrote a lot of amazing hits. He had a lot of fans all over the world who loved him because of the amazing country songs he wrote. And from there, he planned to try and sing as well. Well, you know who we're talking about, none other than Luke Bryan. Today, we're going to tell you all about Luke's journey through his music career. Luke Bryan, born to a couple of peanut farmers, is one of those amazing people who are not only famous for their careers, but also very influential. Shortly before Luke moved to Nashville, at the age of 19, his family was struck by a tragedy. His older brother, Chris, was killed unexpectedly in a car accident. After the tragic incident, Luke went to college at Georgia Southern University in Statesboro, Georgia, where he joined the Sigma Chi Brotherhood and graduated in 1999 with a bachelor's degree in business administration. 2 years later, Bryan finally made it to Nashville after his father had told him to pack his truck to pursue a career in music. He was initially successful as a songwriter, but soon after he signed as a performer, his first major success was All My Friends Say. However, at the end of 2001, he didn't waste any time showing off his considerable talents. He immediately got to work networking, songwriting, demoing, and tying himself inextricably into the fabric of the music row. After only a couple of months, his efforts paid off with a songwriting deal. And just a few years later, Bryan recorded and performed his own hits, including 6 #1 singles, and won every country music award in sight. In 2012 alone, he won 11 major awards, including a record 9 at the American Country Awards, as well as his first American Music Award. Luke is grateful for all this acclaim, if not especially surprised by his success. "I've worked hard," he says. "I've worked my tail off, actually. I just knew where to target my efforts." We talked to this hardworking superstar on the eve of his first major headlining tour, supporting his most recent platinum release, the 2011 Tailgates and Tamlines. Soon after his arrival in Nashville, Bryan joined a publishing house in the city. Among his first cuts was the title track of Travis Tritt's 2004 album, My Honky Tonk History. He was later signed by Capitol Nashville to a recording contract. In the meantime, Bryan co-wrote Billy Currington's single, Good Directions, which went to #1 on the Hot Country Songs chart in mid-2007. Bryan co-wrote his debut single, All My Friends Say, with producer Jeff Stevens. This song reached a peak of #5 on the Hot Country Songs chart. In August 2007, Capitol Nashville released Bryan's debut album, I'll Stay Me. Bryan wrote or co-wrote all but one of its 11 songs. The album's second single, We Rode in Trucks, peaked at #33, while Countryman reached #10. On March 10, 2009, he released an EP titled Spring Break with All My Friends, featuring 2 new songs, Sorority Girls and Take My Drunk Ass Home, plus an acoustic version of All My Friends Say. After this EP, he released his 4th single, Do I, in May 2009. Bryan wrote a song with Charles Kelly and Dave Haywood by Lady Antebellum, whose lead singer Hillary Scott also sings vocals on it. The song reached #2 of the Hot Country Songs chart. Do I was included on Bryan's second album, Doin' My Thing, released in October 2009. The album also included a cover of OneRepublic's Apologize. Bryan wrote the next 2 singles, Rain Is a Good Thing and Someone Else Calling You Baby, with Dallas Davidson and Jeff Stevens, respectively. Both of these songs were #1 on the country music charts. AllMusic also gave this album a positive review, with Stephen Thomas Erlewine considering Bryan more relaxed than his debut. On February 26, 2010, Bryan released a second EP titled Spring Break 2 Hangover Edition, featuring 3 new songs, Wild Weekend, Cold Beer Drinker, and I'm Hungover. While Bryan is mainly known as a country music singer, he has explored other genres, such as alternative rock, with his cover Apologize. Bryan appeared on the episode of Celebrity Apprentice on April 18, 2010, alongside fellow country star Emily West. The challenge for each team was to win over an up-and-coming country star, Bryan being selected by Team Rock Solid, led by Bill Goldberg, and West being selected by Team Tenacity, led by Cyndi Lauper. Bryan's transformation failed to impress the judges, leading to the loss of Rock Solid's task. Bryan's single, Rain Is a Good Thing, and West's single, Blue Sky, were both sold on iTunes, with a month's worth of sales donated to Lauper's charity, the Stonewall Community Foundation, resulting in a $25,000 increase. Bryan released his third EP, Spring Break 3, It's a Sure Thing, on February 25, 2011, featuring 4 new songs, In Love with the Kid, If You Ain't Here to Party, Sure Thing, and Love in a College Town. Bryan's seventh single, Country Girl Shake It For Me, was released on March 14, 2011. Also co-written by Bryan and Davidson, it was the lead-off single for his third studio album, Tailgates and Tan Lines, released on August 9, 2011. The album was number 1 on the Top Country Albums chart and number 2 on the Billboard 200 chart. Country Girl was number 4 on the country music charts and number 22 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. The next 3 singles on the album, I Don't Want This Night to End, Drunk on You, and Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye, all reached number 1 on the country music charts. On March 6, 2012, Bryan released his 4th Spring Break EP, entitled Spring Break 4, Suntan City. Along with the title track that Bryan co-wrote with Dallas Davidson, Red Atkins, and Ben Hayslip, the EP includes Spring Breakup, and a little bit later on, and Shake the Sand. On January 30th, 2013, Bryan released his first compilation album, Spring Break, Here to Party, which includes 14 songs, 12 from his previous Spring Break EPs, and 2 new tracks. It was released on March 5th. The album debuted at number 1 on both the Billboard Top Country Albums chart and the Billboard 200 chart, making it the first album of his career to be at the top of the all-genre album chart. One of the new Spring Break tracks, Buzzkill, entered the top 20 of the Hot Country Songs list. Luke Bryan's 4th studio album, Crash My Party, was released on the 12th of August 2013. The album's first single, Crash My Party, was premiered at the 2013 ACM Awards and released on the 7th of April 2013. It was number 1 on the Country Airplay chart in July 2013. The album's second single, That's My Kind of Night, reached number 1 on the Hot Country Songs chart in August 2013 and peaked at number 2 on the Country Airplay chart in October 2013. The album's third single, Drink a Beer, was released to country radio on October 24, 2013. It reached number 1 on the Hot Country Songs chart in January 2014 and number 1 on the Country Airplay chart in February 2014. On March 11, 2014, Bryan started his 6th spring performance at the Spinnaker Beach Club in Panama City Beach, Florida. On the same day, he released his 6th Spring Break EP, Spring Break 6, just like We Ain't Ever. Bryan is the first country music artist to release 6 number 1 singles on both Billboard's Hot Country Songs and Country Airplay charts. On May 19, 2015, Bryan released his first single from his 5th studio album, Kill the Lights, Blow the Dust Up, which was number 1 on the Country Airplay chart. He co-wrote more than half of the songs on this record. Not only does this album have his country flair, but it also has tracks that include a beat disco type, along with romance songs. The album's second single, Strip It Down, was released on country radio on August 4, 2015. The album was released on August 7th. Kill the Lights sold a total of 345,000 copies its first week and beat Dr. Dre's Compton to debut number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart. Strip It Down was number 1 in October 2015, making 14 combined numbers. All 6 of the singles released from Bryan's Kill the Lights album reached number 1 on the Billboard Country Airplay chart, making Bryan the first artist in the 27-year history of the chart to achieve 6 number 1 singles from one album. Knockin' Boots was broadcast on country radio in March 2019. In October 2019, What She Wants Tonight was released on country radio as the second single from his forthcoming album. In January 2020, Bryan revealed that his next album, Born Here, Live Here, Die Here, will be released on April 24, 2020. The release of the album was accompanied by the announcement of his forthcoming Proud to Be Right Here tour. One Margarita was released as the third single from his forthcoming album on March 13, 2020. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, Bryan postponed the release of the album until the 7th of August 2020 and rescheduled the Proud to Be Right Here tour to 2021.